Welcome back, folks, to another episode of Painting with Victor Rigoli. Back in the garage today, and I've got here my stretcher bars that I made out of my wood that I was using, the little toe molding, and I've got it on about 1.5 inches wide by a 1/2 inch or to a 3/4 inch piece of pine. We got that glued in. We got the cuts. Did all that wanted to get all that done, save some time and everything today, but we're going to be gluing this bad boy together. I've got 2 of them here. I've actually got three cut because I'm going to be working on 3 Augusta National paintings, the Amen Corner, 11, 12, and 13, so I'm excited about that. So I wanted to just build my own stretcher bars, and I'm going to be stretching the canvas and getting it all prepped up and putting it all together. So let's get started here. So I might need these little blocks. Sometimes it depends on how thick the wood is. Sometimes I prop it up and everything, but it might work without it. So we're going to give it a go. So I'm just going to take one of these out here, and I'm going to run some glue right across here. I'm going to get that surface area cover pretty good there. I don't put it on real thick. Now some glue will come out once you start tightening up the band and everything, and it tightens it up in there, and some glue will squeeze out. That's why I've got my paper towels here, so we'll get any excess off. It's not going to hurt for some of it to be seen, because if it does come through on this part or over here, I've got a sanding block, and I'll just sand it off. And of course, remember, all this is going to be covered up because we're going to stretch the canvas, right? So cosmetically, yeah, it doesn't have to be pretty because nobody's going to see this part, right? All right, so we got that glued in. Now I will take just a little bit of glue here and just put a little bit here on my finger. I'm going to raise this piece up and just kind of put just a little, touch a little glue right there as well. We get some on this piece down here. And that glue in there and getting it spread out. Just a real thin coat or layer of glue. All right, we're going to put that back in place right there. Stretch that in. Looks good. All right, and then we're going to take this piece. And this is very similar to some of the other stretcher bars that I've made before. I've done some 8x10s, etc. You know, I also did some stretcher bars, the 10 by gosh, I think that's what, 10 by 20 down there that I did. I have to measure it out. I can't remember. I think it is 10 by 20. But I did those and got those ready. And I was trying to remember what I'd planned to do with those particular stretcher bars. I've got 3 of them there. And so I was thinking, well, I could possibly do Amen Corner on those. I think it'd be good just looking at the 13th hole from a distance up the fairway a little bit with the bunkers in the background. Same thing for number 12, looking out across the pond, and maybe a different angle for the 11th hole too. So not traditional coming down the fairway, but actually looking over to the side with the tee box to the right over here. And you got this little pond down there in that area. So, you know, we might experiment a little bit and see what works best. All right, so we got that there, and I am going to put just a little glue on these here. Just get a little thin layer there, a little bit more on the finger. Smooth that out a bit. I'm out here in the garage on this beautiful spring day. I mean, it's starting to heat up out here a little bit. It's late in the afternoon. I usually like to get out here in the mornings, but I had a bunch of other stuff going on. But I went ahead and did get the wood cut. And I was having some issues with my miter saw. It was kind of funny. I was looking at the cuts and it looked like the cut was kind of, you know, the blade was coming down, but then the wood was kind of curved down. And I said, what in the world? What's going on? And I think what was happening is somehow or another on this side, the left side of my miter saw, it's not as flush all the way across, and so my wood was somehow either falling down or is it moving or something, which was causing the cut not to be even. And so I said, oh my gosh, you know, that's a problem for sure. So I had to work with that. So we'll just wipe some of this glue off on the blue paper towel here, get that out of the way, and then we'll just start tightening this bad boy up. And then I will definitely work with this thing. Go get my eyeballs on, folks. Get this kind of squared up, my corners and everything, working that in like so. Getting that, make sure that's good flush around there. It's looking good. So all right, we'll just continue to tighten this up. It's looking good. Slide this back just a little bit, and I'm going to slide this, try to slide this clamp down just a touch. This little corner piece, same here, there, and over here is as well. There we go, that's better. We'll continue to add some pressure, tightening to make these corners very, very tight. You want those tight so that glue is set up in there, and well, you don't have that way you don't have a problem with that. Okay. All right. One of the things that I experiment with sometimes is I'm just going to set this down on the ground here just a second on the floor. Yep. Because this board that I'm working on, I probably need to replace this. It's wobbly, and so it's not. So sometimes I get a little wobble in here. So I want to make sure that I'm not, this thing as it gets tight, I don't want it to be all twisted and everything, you know, and bowed. I want it to be squared up and flat and everything. So that's why I put it down on my concrete garage floor. So I know that's fairly smooth and level. So, but right now, I think that's going to set up really nice. We're going to work over here on the second one. I've already got this one kind of set in as well. So let's get some glue on it. Run this little bead right down through there and get that spread out. That's good. One of the things I'll do too is probably put a little L shape or V shape nail in these things to add some strength. And I hope, if my wife watches this, I hope she's listening. I hope to get a nail gun for Father's Day. Hint, hint, babe. Nail gun for Father's Day. So, a little bit of glue in there like that. All right, that looks good. Might as well just go ahead and put some on this piece right here. I'll just work myself around. So, okay. Take this out, just pop that in. I'm just working it around, getting the glue in, getting it right back in the little bracket there. So, yeah, but I love these bands. I bought this first one here. I think I got it off of Amazon, and I've had it for several years now. And I started doing more projects to where I needed, you know, an additional band. And so I picked up another one. I'm not sure if I got that one down at Home Depot, or if I got it down at Lowe's. The thing about clamps, and I've got a different size clamps that I use to hold the wood together while it dries, and I'm gluing things in. You know, you can go and buy these clamps, and then 6 months later, you say, well, I'm going to need to go get some more clamps. And Lowe's or Home Depot's not carrying those anymore. I got a different brand of clamps, and but you know, some of those clamps, I mean, they're all pretty good. So I've got some. I probably got 3 different kinds of clamps. They're pretty much the same size, but they're just, you know, a different brand. I probably have 3 or 4 different sizes, but anyway, we're just putting some pressure on this thing, tightening it up. Got to make sure that this little side right here is good and tight, because you loosen it up, pull as tight as you can get it, and then tighten this piece up here so that you can start adding the pressure, and as you turn this, it tightens up and continues to get tighter and tighter. So I'm just going to go and look around here at my corners, making sure everything is looking good there on the corners. Yeah, this one's really looking good. Yeah, so I'm gonna do the same kind of thing. I'm just gonna kind of pick it up real quick here, step off out of the way, and just lay it on the. Yep, and that's looking really good. So there we go, guys. We've got that glued in. We've got 2 of them there. I've got another one that I'm going to do. I'm not going to put masking tape on it because I think I did another video where I made these stretcher bars. And I've got 3 like this, and I believe this is the 10 by 20. We'll just get out the trusty little measuring tape. 10, yep, 10 by 20. These are 16 by 20s here, and I've got the pieces all cut out for this one here and everything, the 20-inch pieces and the 16-inch pieces. Once this sets up for a couple of hours or so, it dries pretty fast, and so I don't have to really worry about it too much. You know, I can take the tension off of the bands, and you know, I can use the bands to do this one here and this one or the other one, whichever one. After a couple hours, it's setting up pretty tight, and so it's not going to move or anything like that. So. And I've done that before, and so it works out great. And so I'll have all 3 of them glued together today, this afternoon. But anyway, hey, thanks for tuning in. Give me a thumbs up. I appreciate folks checking out my channel. Please subscribe to my channel. We're trying to make it grow here a little bit. I will be going live with a painting demo this coming Friday. Not Friday, but Thursday evening, the 24th of this month at 7 p.m. Eastern time. I'll be going live on YouTube, and really looking forward to that. This is the first time I've done this. I've got things set up. I'll be working on a little 8x10 painting that I started a week or 2 ago, and I got a boat in the foreground, and we're going to be painting in that boat. And so, you know, it may last an hour, hour and a half, depends on how much I do of running my mouth and everything, but there is some great information I want to share with you guys prior to actually putting the paint on the canvas. We'll talk about color mixing and things like that, some charts you can make to keep track of how you mixed your colors and what colors you're using with that particular painting. You know, maybe how did you mix your greens for the trees, or how did you get that shade of blue, or you know, how did you get that cloud color or something like that? And I'll show you how I do it, and it works great for me. And you know, it's a nice little trick, nice little tip. But anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys. Tune in later. Check back later, and I'll have another video out there. I'll be posting something soon about stretching the canvas. So we'll see you in the next video. Have a great afternoon.